What's going on, everyone? MVP here, bringing you week 1 of season 2 for the NES. And in this first week, your Detroit Darkrais will be taking on the Mad Danny and the Aston Charizards. Now, little thing about the Charizards, they are the season 1 champions, and they were the last team I have played in official season play. So back in the first season playoffs, I faced them off in the first round. Very good match, but we ended up losing. And so for the first week of season 2, we'll be playing the Mad Danny again. So it should be a very good match. Fresh teams, so there's lots of learning to be done within these first few weeks. So if there's some sort of awkward play, I'll definitely pick up on that, but that's definitely what's going to happen. And eventually we'll definitely pick it up later into the season. But anyways, let's check out how this match went. So first I'll talk about the team. We brought Rotom Wash, Porygon 2, Amstar, Charizard X, Azelf, and Amoonguss. So basically Porygon 2, Rotom, they're kind of my special tanks for this match. They're just supposed to, wall out some of the other specials. They're running things like Will-O-Wisp and Toxic. If like Rotom ever goes up against a physical threat, it can throw down a Will-O-Wisp like on the Garchomp and shut it down. Porygon 2, if it gets cutting, it's like the Melodic, I can throw a Toxic at it. The Amistar is going to be my Shell Smash sweeper for this week, so I ran Hidden Power Fire, Ice Beam, and Earth Power. It's more for coverage, but it kind of turns out for this game, the coverage wasn't there, or didn't need something like Hidden Power Fire, so I'll definitely talk about that later. Charizard X, just my physical attacker. I'm packing Tailwind this week because of things like Scarf, Garchomp. I figured even after, because Garchomp has a higher base speed than Charizard X by 2 points, and if he runs like a Jelly Choice Scarf set, then even if I Dragon Dance once, he can bring it in and outspeed me. So I decided to go with Tailwind, so then I can just set up like one Tailwind, outspeed absolutely everything, and start KOing some things. The thought behind it, because Charizard X had a lot of good type advantages. It had like Earthquake was a very good type advantage against his team, Flare Blitz, Dragon Claw, all very good moves, so I didn't feel like I needed any attack boost, so I was able to run like an Adamant set and then be able to outspeed the Garchomp by like 1 point. The Azelf, it was just supposed to be sort of a coverage attacker, plus my Rock Setter, which you'll see early on in the first turn. And then Amoonguss is just my physical tank, just full on HP, full on defense. Actually did pretty well in this match. I must say Amoonguss did very well. I probably didn't play Amoonguss as well as I could have, kind of looking back on it. I didn't play as well, but we'll see that going into the match. So anyways, let's get the first turn started. So here we go. I decided to go lead right out into Azelf. Just to try and get rocks up our way. He goes into his Thundurus. Obviously a good start for him. As you can see, the Thunder Wave comes out. I think that was kind of bad on my part to kind of keep his elf in. I think I prioritized rocks a little too much in this match. So it could probably hurt me later on, more in the match than I might have initially thought. But anyways, Thunder Waves, I get the rocks up. There's no issue there on the first turn. So I switch in the Rotom, expecting the Volt Switch. He does Volt Switch, so I'm sort of able to eat that up with the neutral hit, 29%. And then obviously you see my leftovers coming in. He brought the Frosthorn, pretty obvious switch there. So then I Volt Switch out into my Amoonguss, because Amoonguss was basically my kind of tank v-tank counter to the Frosthorn. Here I reveal the Hidden Power Fire after he gets his own rocks up, which is actually pretty bad for me, considering I have Charizard on my team, and he takes 50% health coming in off of rocks if he's not Mega Evolved. So here I take a knockoff, lose my Black Sludge. It kind of doesn't matter in the current situation. I don't know if it really did in the long run, but anyways, he gets the knockoff. I'm kind of fine with it. It was a crit. I don't know if that mattered too much, but it's all good. So I'll go for another Hidden Power Fire. Critical hit, get my own critical hit back, which is actually very helpful for me. It was lucky for my part, but it did play a bit bigger role in this match. He goes for a Thunder Wave, so I'm just getting a sense that he's got plenty of Thunder Wave. I believe if you see his Licky Tongue, he also has Thunder Wave as well, which was quite annoying for my team. But I hadn't minded this Thunder Wave much, considering it was in my Amoonguss, but it kind of plays a big role in this match. So he decides to switch out. He wants to preserve his Frosthorn. He goes out into my Melodic. I believe I predicted the switch here because he was at such low health he couldn't risk the Frosthorn, so I decided to go for a Spore, I believe it was. Unfortunately I got paralyzed, so no Spore there. He double switches back into Ferrothorn, trying to bait out, a Spore or something. I go for the Toxic, expecting it to stay in, Ice Beam me, or even if it switches out into anything else, I get a free Tox off, which would be great. But it goes back into the Ferrothorn, just trying to, I guess, preserve it a little more, or kind of scout out what I'm trying to do. So he switches back out again to avoid the Hidden Power Fire. I go for the Hidden Power Fire, obviously, and he brings in his Licky. It eats that, up 11% and just heals it right back off half of that. Here, this was very crucial right here. I went for the Toxic. It turns out Licky becomes a much bigger issue later on in the match. And having been paralyzed on that turn, missing the Toxic was very huge for me. Licky turned out to be such a big wall for my team. I didn't have any super effective counters to it, and so being a normal type, it just kind of walled out my team a bit. So unfortunately, I got paralyzed on a turn I would have used Toxic, so that would definitely matter later in the match, but nothing I can do there. I just have to go with the flow. I predicted this play right here, which was very nice. He set up the Wish to bring in his Ferrothorn again, and I'm like, okay, cool. So now his Ferrothorn's out of the way. I believe my opponent said after the match that once I took Ferrothorn down, he was kind of going like, oh shit, that this isn't good. I think I'm kind of done now. But in my head, I was like, this is nowhere done. I mean, he's bringing in his Mega Diancie now. And one of the things I was hoping to do with the Mega Diancie in the match was catch it off guard on a switch and be able to get like a Toxic or a Spore off on the Mega Diancie before it can Mega Evolve and have its magic bounce ability. But obviously it gets it now, which is more of a safe switch in. So at this point, I figured that this Mega Diancie can basically just run through my Amoonguss. And so it goes for the Psyshock, I just leave it in. But since obviously Psyshock goes for the physical, I only take 52% from that hit, which is actually pretty good. I was pretty happy with that. So now I kind of know in my head a little more how much more useful Amoonguss can be to my team later on in the season as more of a physical threat. Go for the Sludge Bomb, obviously. Just get some easy damage off because Mega Diancie has some pretty frail defenses. I decided to sack Amoonguss there. Probably hindsight now, it might have not been the best choice, but otherwise I wouldn't really know what to bring in on the Mega Diancie with a Psyshock because I don't really have any other sort of defensive tank. So, it's kind of a toss-up there, but anyways, sack the Amoonguss. I bring in the Porygon Tube because I know I can wall this thing out now because I'm such a special tank. And I get the Magic Bounce, which is actually kind of cool, but it doesn't play into my favor at all in this match. So I just go for Ice Beam trying to get damage, but he brings in the Wi-Fi. And I missed the Toxic again. That was my second Toxic attempt. I missed the Toxic, and again, that's huge. This Licky is starting to become a problem for my team. I think it was at this point in the match when I missed the Toxic. I'm like, oh crap. This thing can actually wall out my team, and that's when I started getting nervous. Like before, I'm like, oh, whatever, it's just a Licky, but now, I'm starting to get a little worried about this thing after having missed the Toxic. So he sets up the Wish. I'm like, okay, he's doing the same thing again with the Mega Diancie play, with the Ferrothorn play. He's gonna bring a Mega Diancie now, or maybe he stays in. Maybe he stays in, but otherwise, I had a feeling he'd go back into Mega Diancie. So this is a learning thing for me. No, he stayed in. I thought this was the turn that he switched out. No, he stayed in. I thought he was going to switch into Diancie. I was just going to get some damage off, but he stays in, which was bad for me. So he gets the knockoff on my Porygon 2, which now I lose my Eviolite. So all my defenses are lowered in Porygon 2. It's still not useless. Like even with an Eviolite knocked off, Porygon 2 can still tank up a few hits, recover. But now it's lost a lot of its usage. And now obviously Wi-Fi heals back to full, and he's perfectly fine. Here I decided to recover just to get some more health back, full health before anything goes wrong. I don't know if I predicted the Mega Diancie switch, but this is the learning moment I was about to say, is that even though my Porygon 2 currently has the Magic Bounce ability, I thought what would happen is if you status or like do something to a Magic Bounce and you have Magic Bounce as well, it bounces off of them and then it comes back and then it bounces off you and then it disappears. That's how I thought it worked. I don't know why I ever thought of it like that, but unfortunately I end up Toxicking myself on the one Toxic I hit this match. So At this point, I'm just like, shit. I don't think I can win this now. I just feel like, god damn it. That's about it. So, anyways, I talked to myself, and I'm like, crap. I gotta switch out in the Rotom. So I don't know, preserve my Porygon 2 a little more, so I can keep so I can Toxic something later, like the Milotic. Yeah, that was the plan. I had decided to keep the Porygon 2 around for my Milotic later, but obviously as the match is going, that doesn't really matter. So this is like my kind of like, I have to pull up my last Desperation card now, I felt like, if I wanted any chance to win this. So I bring in my Amistar, Lord Helix. I had to go for the Shell Smash right now. He switches out. I thought he might have something like the Earth Power on him to attack, but I guess he did not. So I'm running Focus Sash, Lord Helix, Lord Helix. So I don't have my stats reset, and so I go for the Earth Power because I didn't bring any water. I don't like looking at that. I don't even think if I brought Surf that would have really mattered. I don't think I would have picked up the extra 39%, but. So, you know, it happens. And then he has Power Whip as well, and obviously 4 times weakness, lower defenses, I'm dead. So I bring in Charizard. Here I want to go set up the Tailwind, so then at least, you know, and then he reveals Earthquake. So this thing is basically just covering for my whole team. So that means I can at least go faster than everything, barring I KO the Licky Licky. I don't KO it on the Dragon Claw. And then bring in the Azelf, because at least now Azelf is up to normal speed. Azelf gets paralyzed in the first turn. That doesn't really matter because he wishes, and then I just KO it with Psychic. Thank God it is dead. But then the Garchomp can just come in, just kind of start clean sweep my team. I have the Energy Ball just for the Milotic, but obviously it's a nice neutral hit on the Garchomp. I don't know why I didn't go for like Psychic or something. Then I bring in the Porygon 2, my last Pokemon. It's just easy cleanup for him, but I'm able to just pick up a KO off the Garchomp here, and then he brings in the Mega Diancie to finish me off. So, kind of a pretty rough week 1 for me, I'd say. Definitely still looking for my first win against Mad Danny. He's a great guy, great player to play against. Great opponent. Still looking for my first win against him, but not now, not in week 1. I'll have to wait for a bit. But yeah, definitely a big learning week this time. Yeah, I felt like this in season 1, week 1, where it's like after a few turns, I'm like, crap, man, this team's got like a bad weakness, or like this thing isn't working out on the team. I don't think it was really. There was sort of a moment. Not really a moment of like this isn't working out, but just the Licky Licky just really threw my team off and disrupted everything. And a few of the paralysis didn't help, or the Toxic Mess. But anyways, there's nothing you can do about it. You just got to learn from your own mistakes and be able to go on. So anyways, guys, this was week 1. We start the season 0-1, unfortunately, but I'm still feeling pretty good. I'm liking this team. Still got a lot of potential that we haven't used yet. Obviously, it's only been 1 week, so we can only bring 6 Pokemon, but still a lot of great to come. So anyways, guys, thanks for watching, and we'll see you guys later.